This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below. What is going on, everybody? We are going to check out the latest software update we just got on the Tesla Cybertruck, along with the software update before that, because I haven't covered it yet. It's been a while since we've had any big updates from Tesla. We did add a few very cool things to the Cybertruck in the past few weeks. FSD has not seen an update in a while. Who knows what they're waiting for, although China did get FSD, so congrats to you guys. Lots of cool videos coming out of China. But let's hop into the app here. I'm charging on solar right now, so I don't want to be unplugged too long because I want to take advantage of that. But let's check out our release notes that we have here. So the Cybertruck is now on 2025.8.4, which includes minor fixes, but included in that update were some previous updates that didn't come to the public but were in the update release schedule. And first up is steer-by-wire improvements. So the steering wheel now gives more realistic feedback, adapting to different road surfaces for a better driving experience. Now, what's interesting about the Cybertruck, of course, is the steer-by-wire. The steering wheel is not actually physically connected to the tires. And so a consequence of that you may not have thought of is when the tires are hitting bumps or whatever on the road, it's not physically connected, so that feeling is not going to go to the steering wheel. Well, Tesla has a whole dedicated module connected to the steering wheel to basically take the road feedback and mimic it on the steering wheel, and it does feel incredibly real. Now, this is saying it's going to be more realistic, so we'll go out and test it in a bit and see what that's like. One thing I think would be a cool option is to turn off feedback. You may not even notice, but when you're driving, even on a relatively smooth road, you'll feel all the little bumps and things in the wheel as you're driving along. It'd be kind of cool to turn that off, although maybe that's not the best idea because you probably need that feedback for driving, but we'll test it out. And then this is such a cool addition that I'm really happy to have, adjusting the ride height via the Tesla app. So directly from the app, we can change the air suspension on the Cybertruck. You do have to have the phone set as a phone key to use this. I assume you also have to be in range, but I'll test that out and let you know. And you can control it straight from the app. So now something we did get already previously to this update that I haven't shown yet is improved washer updates with the wiper. Now on the Cybertruck, the top right area here by the passenger is not really getting cleaned off that well, and people really noticed it, including myself, with all the salt in the winter, and you were still having streaks up there, and those streaks were also going across the autopilot cameras. Now the driver area view was clear, that was all good, but those streaks over the camera and on the other side were annoying some people. So Tesla made it so you can, if you want, optionally distribute more washer fluid. So I'll show you that in a second. Unfortunately, in my experience, it still leaves some streaks. I really think that the wiper blade is so long, I think the top just needs more weight on it. And with that, it'll kind of clear up that issue. The other thing I find interesting is I didn't really notice this for the longest time, even in the beginning of winter. So I don't know if the wiper is just wearing quickly and needs to be replaced already after a year. It's not, impossible, but I do think that'd be kind of soon. The good news is the wiper is about $75 to replace, so $75, so it's not the craziest expense. But for now, I'm just gonna hold off because you never know, maybe they'll do another recall on that. Also included with that wiper release was third-party fast charging. So when you go to a DC fast charger, if you don't know, the battery needs to be the correct temperature, whether that's colder than it currently is, or usually, in Tesla's case, warmer than it currently is. And when you navigate to a Tesla supercharger for years and years, which came via a software update years ago, it didn't used to be a thing that cars did, the battery will precondition itself on the way there. It'll use additional energy to get to the right temperature, so when you plug in, you can get the max fastest charging capable by the charging stall. The problem was if you went to a non-Tesla supercharger, which admittedly myself I have pretty much never used, but a lot of people do use those in certain areas. They're more plentiful than the Tesla ones. You couldn't do that preconditioning, so you'd get to this charger, even if it was a faster charger, more capable than Tesla's, which they are out there, you couldn't get that peak rate, at least initially, because the battery wasn't ready for it. Now, the Cybertruck and other Tesla vehicles know if you're heading to another fast charger that's not a Tesla supercharger, to get that battery ready for the fastest charging possible. We finally got the hands-free front opening on Android. It's been a thing for iPhone for several months now, and this applies again to the Cybertruck, because the Cybertruck is still the only Tesla with an electric frunk, which, come on, bring it to the other Teslas. It makes me use it a lot more, but I'll show you that real quick. But you just stand here. I heard 3 beeps, and it opens automatically. So it just basically detected I was standing there waiting for it to open. Rear cross traffic chime. This is something people have been asking for years, and this is also on all Tesla vehicles now. Of course, a lot of vehicles have this. Most other cars use rear radar. Tesla, of course, only uses cameras, and the rear camera can see 180 degrees. So I found this works really well with vehicles and also pedestrians. I've had a person walking behind the Cybertruck. I'll try to recreate it here if I can for the video. But in real life experience, I've had a person walking behind the Cybertruck, and I put it in reverse and it starts beeping at me. It shows the red on the screen, and it'll beep more when you're moving than when you're still. But if there's something there, when you put it in reverse, the camera will have a red glow on it, and if you start to move, then it will audibly warn you. And finally, the maintenance summary. So you can go into the service menu and check different maintenance items you have on your Tesla vehicles. Of course, there's not much, but rotating tires is a big one. At least keep an eye on them and check the tread on the different ones to see if you need to rotate. A lot of Teslas now, just, I don't know how they do it, but they can adjust the way they drive, and the tread, for the most part, will wear evenly. I know on our 2023 Model Y, when I've went to rotate the tires at the normal, 8,000 range, I've taken it to Discount Tire, and then they measure, and they're like, all your tires are perfectly even, you don't need to rotate them. So just keep an eye on it, get the little gauge, you can usually get them for free somewhere, and check your tread depth. If it's off, if the tires are not exactly even, then go ahead and do your rotation. All right, so let's start with probably the coolest one, adjusting ride height from the app. So I'm in the app right now in the controls section. If I scroll down here, you can see ride height. Nope, I can't do it. Leveling disabled because the charging cable is connected. That makes perfect sense. Let me go unplug. All right, so I unplugged, done with the app, and you can see here we're on the entry ride height. I have it set so when I park the Cybertruck, it'll go all the way down. That's mostly to help my kids get in and out. It's a lot closer to the ground, easier for them. So we'll just go all the way to high. So we are ride height on road, and we can go to high. So let's click that. And there it goes. And this is real time. You can see how fast the Cybertruck lifts that suspension. It's insane. Everybody thinks that it's sped up in the videos, but that's it. That is high ride height. I mean, what did that take, like 5 seconds or something? It's really crazy to see how fast the thing can go. Now, the Cybertruck can go higher than this in off-road mode, and it says in here it's on-road mode, and it doesn't look like there's a way to change that in the app. So let me open up the Cybertruck here, change it to off-road, and see if then more options become available in the app. All right, so I hopped in, enabled off-road mode. For it to stay in off-road mode when I exit the vehicle, it has to go into driver reverse for a second. So I backed up just a couple inches. Now you can see in the app, it's in the off-road mode. Otherwise, if you put it in off-road mode when you're parked and then close the doors, it just goes back to on-road mode. So now from here, we can put it in extract. We get this warning, raise the Cybertruck to the maximum ride height, uses all your air tanks. It'll take some time for your air tanks to repressurize after this, but we'll confirm on that. And then there you go, there's extract. This usually takes a little longer than just getting to high. Yeah, you can now hear, I don't know if you can hear, but you can hear the air tanks filling back up back there because we went to high, and then I was kind of messing with it while I was getting stuff set up to film this, and I used a little of the air, but it'll fill that air tank and it'll get us up to extract. So extract takes a little longer. It's not something you normally use. Again, it's for extracting out of a tough situation, but it's cool that you can control all that from the app. All right, so let's check out that new maintenance tab on the interior of the car. You can see we hit this down here to go to the menu, and then we went to service right here. And you can see my last tire rotation was 8,500 miles ago, so it's about time. But like I said, I just checked my tires. They're all very even now, whereas when I did my last rotation, they were not. So I probably won't do another one, at least for now. And here's the new maintenance tab. So we can see here, tire rotation is overdue. The last one, it says 12,000 miles ago. I'm not sure why that's different. Wiper blade replacement, it actually is suggesting this. So wiper blade, replace the windshield wiper blade to ensure clear visibility every year. They want you to do that. So maybe I'll do it. Yeah, I'll probably do it, I guess, since it suggests, and it'd be interesting to see if that fixes my issue with the streaks up in the top there. But once I do that, I can click this button and then it'll know to alert me again in a year. AC desiccant replacement, let's check this one. It says replace the AC desiccant for air conditioning every 8 years. Holy moly, so don't need that one for a long time. HEPA filter replacement every 2 years. That's surprising. So every 2 years, if you want that to function optimally, it's going to be a little more or maybe a little less depending on exactly your conditions and where you live. Wheel alignment check, this is as needed. So you can do an alignment or an alignment check, and then you can record it and say that you did that. I probably won't. And then windshield camera area precision cleaning. Clean inside of the windshield in the camera area for clear visibility. Wow. And that is as needed. So this is actually a piece of maintenance that Tesla suggests. That's surprising, and it's something that I always am kind of like picky about because I feel like it's Tesla's responsibility to make sure that area can stay clean so the cars can drive themselves. But interesting to see that that is actually a suggested maintenance on the vehicle. All right, let me show you the wiper updated washing. But now that I saw my maintenance suggest I get a new wiper blade, I'm thinking about it. But anyway, so this is obviously how it used to work. On the steering wheel, you hold the button and it lets out a little, fluid there. Obviously it's dry, so it's squeaking a little bit. And you can hear it does that. But now if you hold it for more than 2 squirts, basically, it unloads a ton of liquid. So check this out. So we'll hold it, and now listen. Now the whole time, up and down, it's letting out that. It's insane. There's so much liquid coming out. And it'll keep doing it as long as you hold it. And then you can let go. Look at all of that up on the top here. It is insane how much more comes out of there. It's an awesome software update to get. It's very cool that they added that via software update. I don't think it fixed my main complaint, but it's nice that it's something that they can do. So let's go take this thing for a drive and see if I can feel the difference. All right, so when you are driving the Cybertruck, you do have different options in here, and this is where I normally keep it. So ride and handling is what I think would mostly affect the steering feel, and there's focused and relaxed. Now focused is where I normally keep it, and of course the dirt roads are gonna bring out all this feeling stuff a lot more, so this is a good place to test it. And I definitely feel the dirt roads. It maybe does feel a little more intense of like the vibration and feedback you feel from the gravel and stuff. If there's a difference, it's not a huge one because I'm not like, whoa, this is crazy. I would guess that I'm feeling it a little bit more, but maybe just because I'm thinking I will, right? So it's hard to say. It definitely feels a little more intense vibration, which part of me is kind of like, I don't want that. One of the cool things about steer-by-wire is you can mute all that if you want via software, because this rumbling I'm feeling is not real. It's not actually from the road. It's generated from whatever hardware Tesla's put back here to mimic that feel in the steering. Now, if you are doing certain types of driving, you need to feel the road. You want to feel the road, and you have to feel it to a certain extent to know how the tires are interacting with the surface and know if there's good traction or bad traction, or if your tire has hit a bump and is getting thrown to the side or something. But overall, like the vibration I feel in here, I don't feel like I need that. Now, of course, most of the time we're using FSD, so you don't have to touch it at all. But even in FSD, you can feel this vibration. Now, what I'm really curious about is if we move to this relaxed setting here, and if I can tell the difference with that. So give me a second here. So if I let me get over this hill real quick. So relaxed, I feel like my turning would not be as effective, but look how I'm barely moving the wheel and we're, going all over the road here. Go back to focused. I guess that does feel a little bit tighter. If we go back to relaxed. Oh yeah, relaxed is a lot more just kind of like, it's not even easier or harder. It's just, I guess it's a little more floaty is the best way to put it. Yeah, this is a lot tighter steering. I like this a lot better, the focused mode. With that said, the more realistic feeling of the road that was mentioned in the update, switching between these two modes, I do not really notice much of a difference. So let's just try the sport mode. So the sport mode is what I drive in when I'm not on the dirt roads. And this puts not the acceleration, it puts the suspension a little lower, puts it in the lower setting, which gives you better efficiency. And it keeps your ride and handling focused. Now the comfort mode, I would use, it has the relaxed ride and handling, the higher suspension, which is what I use on the dirt roads, but it has chill acceleration, which I never, ever, ever want to use in any Tesla. So that's why my custom mode is basically a blend of the two. So in my custom mode, oh no, focused is much better. Wow, that relaxed is way too floaty. Oh my goodness. This is so much kind of sharper and more accurate in the steering. But I use the custom mode when I'm on the dirt roads, so I can still have my full acceleration back here, but I can have my higher suspension settings. Whereas sport I'll use, so I still have my full acceleration, but it goes lower for better efficiency. And let me tell you, the efficiency difference between medium ride height and low ride height is drastic. Especially even just going at like 40, 50 miles an hour, it's got to be like 50 watt-hours per mile difference at 50 miles per hour. It's a pretty big difference in efficiency, I've noticed. So I do like to be low as much as I can. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely more, I would say there's definitely more vibration coming through the steering wheel. I'm still kind of trying to process it and make sure I'm not like exaggerating things. But I definitely feel like more vibration is coming through. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. I want it, because it has that cool capability, I want it to be more muted. I would love for it to be more muted, but I'll give them, it is realistic. It does feel a little more like the Model Y's steering wheel does as it's going over all this gravel and bumps and stuff.